Hello and welcome back to the LFC Ahmedabad podcast with me and Roshan once again. I think we are the only two guys who are excited about Liverpool's new season because व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप पे मैं कितने मैसेज डालता हूँ कि मेरे को वॉलंटियर चाहिए कंपलसरी नहीं है मैं वॉलंटियर शब्द यूज करता हूँ फिर भी कोई आता नहीं है सो if any of the viewers is keen to join us on the podcast then you can tweet us and we'll probably make you a chief guest or something but today we are here to talk about our the season which is coming the 2022-23 season और हम एक छोटा सा प्रीव्यू करने वाले हैं हमने सारे फिक्चर्स हमारे 1 to 38 फिक्चर्स को एक एक्सेल शीट में कन्वर्ट करके वील जस्ट प्रिडिक्ट व्हाट विल हैपन वील टॉक अबाउट our rivals as such उन लोगों ने क्या strengthening की है and we'll also always also talk about Liverpool as well because LFC Ahmedabad so Roshan let's start with Community Shield did you see positives because obviously there were positives.
I think surprisingly we looked better than Manchester City all throughout the game.
Yes.
और थिंक मैनचेस्टर सिटी डेफिनेटली वी कैन हम लोग जैसे डिस्कस कर रहे थे ना कि वो लोग कैसे नए स्क्वाड के साथ कितना जेल होंगे क्या होगा कैसा रहेगा एंड अनफॉर्चुनेटली नाउ लपोर्ट इज आउट फॉर फ्यू मंथ्स बिकॉज ऑफ हिज
इंजरी yes.
So that could be a big blow to Manchester City, at least for the initial fixtures. And then हमने ये भी देखा कि केविन डी ब्रुयने सब्स्टिट्यूट होने के बाद उनका कोई अटैकिंग थ्रेट नहीं है. एंड आई थिंक मैं आफ्टर द गेम थोड़े पंडित्स के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से भी सुन रहा था कि दे आर नॉट यूज्ड टू हैविंग मेन स्ट्राइकर इन दैट सेंस मतलब अग्वेरो is not as tall as Erling Haaland.
Yes,
so Aguero
yes.
does not have a good heading ability, but अभी with him there उनको अपना प्लेइंग स्टाइल थोड़ा सा चेंज करना पड़ेगा. वैसे जैक ग्रिलिश को बहुत गाली पड़ी थी कि लाइक वो ड्रिबल ज्यादा कर रहा था और वो क्रॉस नहीं कर रहा था. तो आई थिंक इट वुड बी डिफिकल्ट फॉर पीपल टू लेट गो ऑफ देयर नेचुरल गेम फॉर विच दे वर साइंड. And then now they have to adjust to new set of players, specifically Haaland, because it's such a big investment. So
yes, exactly.
it is like a Benteke problem for us, कि ब्रेंडन रॉजर्स का प्लेइंग स्टाइल ऐसा है नहीं बट तुमने बेंटेके को खरीदा है जो हु नीड्स सर्विस
सो तुम्हें खिलाना पड़ेगा बट बीइंग लाइक आई थिंक जब फिल फोडन आया तब उनके अटैक में थोड़ा एक्स्ट्रा मेरे को कुछ दिख मतलब इट वाज लाइक अ डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ टीम गोइंग फॉरवर्ड बिकॉज लाइक De Bruyne is more of a central midfielder मतलब central खेलता है Foden is like a bit attack minded so I think he and Haaland can create like an attacking force but
it इंटरेस्टिंग होगा ये देखने के लिए कि हाउ फिल फोडन इज यूज्ड क्योंकि मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम ही हैज बीन यूज्ड ऑन द लेफ्ट विंग आई मीन बिफोर ऑल ऑफ दिस एंड उसमें भी लाइक De Bruyne काइंड ऑफ प्लेस फुल 90 मिनट्स एंड देयरफॉर फोडन का एक ही काम है बॉल लेके रन करना एंड he has good finishing also so that is why he was more effective. Abhi if Jack Grealish has to have a full season because he didn't have a full season last time. तो अगर उसको रेगुलर बनाना है on the left wing, then Foden is floating. So he will be floating like a false 9 or number 10 and probably playing with De Bruyne. It is very difficult क्योंकि I don't think that is possible. एक ही creative midfielder होना चाहिए mostly team में and most of the creative work has to come from attackers themselves also. तो दो players हो जाएंगे उनके पास in cam kind of a position. तो it is weird. Like Manchester City has a headache and a problem to figure out how things have to go for them.
And thoughts on Nunes?
Oh, I mean, Nunes had more impact than Haaland had in the whole game.
Yes, exactly. But I think this is the first time Liverpool have an out-and-out striker since Sturridge. I think you can count Origi as an out-and-out striker, but he was more of like an impact sub. because
रेगुलर नहीं था, रेगुलर
regular
प्लेइंग फुटबॉल अगर देखोगे तो यस यू आर राइट.
because if I'm missing someone, then please let me know in the comments. But I think Sturridge was the last out and out striker we used because
I
Sturridge गया
think
उसके बाद Firmino was like Firmino was our attacker.
हमने कुछ कुछ ट्राई किए थे, जैसे
Dominic Solanke was a
स्टरिच.
flop.
हाँ राइट, एग्जैक्टली, डोमिनिक सोलंकी को
Danny
हमने
Ings was
इसीलिए
a
लेके,
flop.
वेल उसको इंजरीज थे तो ही
हाँ, let's
नेवर
not
हैड अ
count him.
चांस.
Yes.
And by the time he got fit, then we had Mana Saleh and
माना
Firmino.
साले माना माने साला
फिर से यार,
यार
I
अच्छा
हद
है
है.
माने नहीं so
ये देख, साला माने फिर्मिनो came and so Danny Ings के वैसे भी हो गया क्योंकि
हाँ
Firmino offers much more creatively than Danny Ings. So
I
it was just a bad timing for him when he was doing well. तब उसका इंजरी हुआ और जब वो
I
इंजरी से बाहर
could
आया तो
could we put Diogo Jota in an out and out striker bracket, or do you think he's more of a utility guy, versatile kind of player who can do a lot of things?
I don't think he's an out and out striker. He is a attacker who can be a good fox in the box, who has good
Yes.
finishing. So, I mean, even in Wolves, he was not playing out and out striker because अपना Raul Hernandez, no? Raul
Jimenez.
Raul Jimenez, right?
Raul
Sorry.
Jimenez.
So Jimenez was the out and out striker for them.
हाँ
So उसके आजू बाजू ये तेरे क्या बोलते हैं, नेटो और पोडेंस और जोटा, ऐसे ये सारे प्लेयर्स थे.
हम्म
तो आई थिंक ही वाज मोर ऑफ अ क्रिएटिव प्लेयर rather than like an out and out striker. I don't think he's an out and out striker. He can play, but again,
not Nunes kind of out and out
yeah,
striker if
he is
you
not
yeah
used to that position. So इसके लिए तो I think uh, it is interesting that Nunes also has adjusted to playing as a central striker, because even in I think
Benfica he was
even
like yeah he was on the wings against
या
us I remember
राइट,
yeah
हाँ बेनफिका में अपने लिए वो विंग्स पे था. तो uh, uh, just from the evidence of what we have seen of Darwin, especially playing as a central striker, I think
yes
we have found that central striker that we were looking for a long time.
hmm.
ने कितने सारे ट्रांसफर रूमर सुने, एलेक्स टेशेरा से, लाकाजेट से, इतने इतने सारे
That
प्लेयर्स को स्काउट कर.
Alex Teixeira is a nice name that you threw because he was so much linked to us but then he went to China और मेरे को लगा बहुत दुख हुआ है यार ये क्या मॉडर्न फुटबॉल किधर जा रहा
we we we
है
dodged a bullet. We definitely
हाँ
dodged a bullet in him.
I think
So
we have dodged a bullet with many. I think Mario Götze was also one of those dodge bullet kind of.
मारियो गोत्जे भी था, याद नहीं आ रहा. निकोलस पेपे का भी था, थॉमस लेमार
Timo
था,
Werner.
टीमो वर्नर भूल रहा था मैं, राइट, टीमो
हाँ
वर्नर था. So I think all in all we are happy that we have one out and out striker. So that
exactly.
way like अभी जोटा के ऊपर फिनिशिंग का इतना प्रेशर नहीं रहेगा जितना probably पहले रह
हाँ
चुका है.
हाँ exactly.
So
And I think out and out striker first time इतने सालों बाद also gives us another complexion to our attack which we never thought we needed. Because जैसे ही I noticed something जैसे ही like Darwin Núñez आया like Salah was putting in all the crosses into the box, Robertson was putting crosses into the box. We usually don't have someone who can be that guy physical tall enough to win those headers and luckily he scored from a header as well.
एंड और एक
Yeah.
चीज, मतलब एज हमने पहले भी डिस्कस कर चुके हैं, बट ये पॉइंट बहुत क्लियरली देखने को मिल रहा है कि हाउ आर 5 अटैकर्स विल सेट अप बेस्ड ऑन योर ओपोनेंट. तो अगर फ्री फ्लोइंग टीम है जहाँ पे दे आर आल्सो अटैकिंग यू, देन यू विल हैव स्पेसेस, and that is what exactly happened, like Man City trying to attack us and giving us all the space that we needed. So in that sense ये लिवरपूल साइड बहुत अच्छा लग रहा था. वील हैव टू देखना पड़ेगा कि टीम्स दैट सिट बैक मोर हाउ वी परफॉर्म अगेंस्ट देम एंड व्हाट फ्रंट थ्री विल गो
Yes.
विद.
I think we should move to the main crux of this podcast is like predicting, like not predicting. I think just looking ahead to what might happen to Liverpool in all 38 games. So we have prepared. Are you ready to do that, Roshan?
हाँ
Exercise.
चल.
तो screen दिख रहा है ना?
हम्म
तो तो हाँ, so we have like I shouldn't say we, मैंने ये download किया है कहीं से, पर okay, someone had prepared a full 38 fixtures in order of Liverpool. So we'll here predict win, draw, loss, and we'll add up the points in the end to estimate how Liverpool can do. Now, granted, we are Liverpool fans, so we might just put win, or 38 times 3 जितना भी होता है उतने points हो जाएंगे. But नहीं, we will try to focus and be a little realistic. We might look into, like, say, Leicester away game. We might say that's a bogey team. We might draw, we might lose. We are going to look it from a very realistic kind of manner. So, Russian, let's start. Fulham versus Liverpool, 6th of August. What do you think will happen? I think win.
Yeah, Liverpool win,
Liverpool
probably
win.
3-1 maybe. Yeah.
Okay, so let's say 3-1 and वो 3 अरे यार ये डेट में
नंबर कर दे.
better. Okay, so 3 points. Crystal Palace, I guess another win.
हाँ, मे बी पता नहीं, ड्रॉ भी हो सकता है.
नहीं, पर टेक्निकली देखा जाए तो हम होम पर है और हम होम पे से
राइट
ड्रॉ
राइट,
हो.
वैसे या
हाँ,
ओके ओके.
so I don't think it matters. 2-0.
मैं हमेशा क्रिस्टल पैलेस का अगेंस्ट हाई स्कोरिंग ही रहा है यार.
Let's say 4-0. चल ना 4-0
4 ने
करते हैं.
4 ने.
Another 3 points. Now this is a tricky one. Like last
I
season,
don't think it is that tricky, to be honest. Pre-season में it was just our first game, and so Manchester United has not been able to sign new players much anyways. They're hyping Lisandro Martinez. That's the only signing that they were able to pull off for now. So I think
do you think this, like, by the time this game rolls out, like in like 3 weeks time from now, probably we'll have much clearer idea of where Ronaldo is, because so far we have no idea he's even going to stay at Old Trafford. He's not going to stay at Old Trafford. He played 45 minutes in a preseason game, didn't do much, jaldi nikal gaya. Matlab, something's cooking over there. Do you think we'll win at Old Trafford?
cooking तो क्या, I think clear है, Ronaldo doesn't want to be at
does want to
United.
stay.
Simple as that. So to all the United fans,
I think
जली ना.
सबको लगा कि
क्योंकि हाँ, ऐसा लेजेंड हाला मद्रिद, हाला जीजीएमयू वाले सब अभी सोच रहे होंगे कि your legend can't even stay with you in the worst of your times.
Exactly. So, and he also shows that how selfish he can be. For मतलब you cannot blame him, to be honest, because अगर वो भी थोड़ा, he's also very,
I mean, to be honest, Ronaldo has to be reasonable also. उसका भी ऐसा कुछ last 3-4 seasons एकदम तड़कते भड़कते तो गए हैं नहीं, जहाँ पे उसने मतलब मचा दिया. He's 36 now, maybe 37, पता नहीं क्या एज है उसकी.
37.
37. Well, I mean, at 37, you can't have everything your way.
Yeah, his expectations
he could have
are
just
too
said,
high.
I'll stay at United. He's getting paid well. Why do you want to go? Just play whatever games you can and whatever you can do, and retire at a club that gave you this success, you know.
He's very ambitious, but I don't think you have the room to be ambitious when you are on, twilight of your career. मतलब हाँ ठीक है, तुम अच्छे गोल स्कोरर हो, वो सब बात ठीक है,
और वो जाएगा भी कहाँ पे, लाइक सो लेट्स से रियलिस्टिकली वो कहाँ जाएगा. और जितने भी अच्छे क्लब्स हैं, दे डोंट हैव स्पेस फॉर हिम, एंड दे डोंट वांट टू they don't want to mess up with their squad balance just because they want Ronaldo. And then if Ronaldo goes to any other team, which is probably 60-70% of their best of their abilities, then he's going to be miserable anyway. So why not be miserable at United, you know? Like, just
exactly. And why, if you are miserable, no one's going to point finger at you apart from rival fans. वहां के लोग तो वो मर्डर भी कर दे तो भी इज लाइक सेल्फी के लिए खड़े रह जाएंगे. So I think you think we'll win or we'll draw this?
We'll win. So it might not be easiest maybe, but I'll say 2-1 maybe.
Okay.
But again, United
Uh,
always, we have had high scoring games, 9-0 last season. So
yeah, but let's give Eric Ten Hag some credit or some
some credit.
benefit of doubt here. I think Bournemouth, this is a pretty straightforward game. I
Easy,
think we'll
yeah.
win. Yeah,
3-0, 4-1, maybe something like that.
let's go with 4-1.
Hmm.
Another 3 points. So we have now, according to our predictions, won 4 out of 4. We are on 12 points. We travel to a Newcastle. We host Newcastle,
I think
who have
Newcastle.
strength. Hello. Hello.
आ गया
Sorry, yeah.
अरे सॉरी क्या उसमें मतलब एनीवेज जब तू रिकॉर्ड कर रहा है वो तेरे साइड से दिखेगा कि मैं अटक गया है तो डजंट
Oh, okay. So I have to behave myself when my internet goes. Anyway, what were you talking about Newcastle?
मैं बोल रहा था कि न्यूकासल न्यूकासल लुक्स लाइक अ गुड टीम प्री सीजन के एक दो ऐसे हाइलाइट्स देखे थे
Yes.
उनके दे सीम टू बी अ गुड स्क्वाड नाउ एंड
Do
सो
you, I don't know if you are aware of this or not, but Newcastle had two bids rejected for James Madison, Leicester ka James Madison. So they are like really going after him. So they have ambition, but
I
seeing
think
this
Leicester might not leave him because they're already going to lose Tielemans for
Tielemans,
sure.
yes. So creative
So
force ही चला जाएगा अगर दोनों निकल गए तो यार. But
right.
I think regardless of how well Newcastle have spent and how their future might be brighter than some other clubs, I think Liverpool home, it's tough to say that we might drop points here.
अरे मैं सोच रहा था let's
हाँ.
not do all the games because next podcast में then we'll have other people, right? So I think when more people are involved, then I think this is much more fun. So I think
No,
like
I basically wanted to do this. This is rough. We can always do a
नहीं
proper.
आई अंडरस्टैंड बट लाइक मैं सोच रहा था कि अपन थोड़ा फुटबॉल ज्यादा डिस्कस करते हैं यहाँ पे थोड़े लाइक फर्स्ट 5 गेम वीक्स कर लेते हैं एंड देन we'll have
All
with
right.
और अपने
I
ओजी
think
गैंग के साथ करेंगे थोड़ा मजा आएगा
yeah, I think we'll do first 5 games here. This is the fifth one, which we think Liverpool will win again. So, of course, let's say 2-0 and another 3 points. So, I think, judging by our predictions on the first 5 games, we think Liverpool have a pretty good chance of making use of our first few games because,
yeah
like you said, these early fixtures are going to be really important because World Cup aa raha hai. And prior to November, they are going to cram as many fixtures as they can. Uh, Not to forget, we will be playing 6 group games in the Champions League, couple of Carabao Cup games if we make past the opening round. So, Roshan, do you think these games are the ones where we need our bench strength the most because World Cup
for
fixture
sure
congestions?
फॉर श्योर एंड आई थिंक हम लोग सिमिलर स्ट्रैटेजी से जाएंगे जैसे अपन लास्ट सीजन में गए थे वेयर एवरी कंपटीशन हैज इट्स ओन टीम
Yeah.
and some of these youngsters will also play I think इसीलिए उनको प्री सीजन में भी खिलाया just to see where they are how they are और हम लोग probably third fourth round तक अपना normal squad नहीं खिलाएंगे and then when shit gets real I think we'll probably
Yeah.
get our players on the field but हाँ hopefully we have मैं वो सोच रहा हूँ कि बेंच पे कौन से प्लेयर्स होंगे जो who can start more regularly in the
See,
League
I
Cup.
think the three youngsters, Curtis Jones, Fabio Carvalho, and
Sorry.
Harvey Elliott are the three who will be like
Oh, yeah,
near
they
the
will be
starting
there.
11 in League and Champions League. But when you talk about cup competitions or let's say some easier Champions League games, you can expect them to start when Klopp decides to rest the kinds of Salah and stuff like that.
अरे अभी तक चैंपियंस लीग के फिक्चर्स नहीं है ना, मतलब अभी तक कोई नहीं हुआ है ना।
हाँ, ग्रुप स्टेज भी नहीं हुआ ना, बट वी कैन ऑलवेज एक्सपेक्ट वन टीम फ्रॉम पॉट 4, यू नो, Maccabi Tel Aviv or Maribor or some some teams like that to, we can try our bench strength in the Champions League as well.
Right.
But I have one question that just came up to my mind. If some random stranger comes and asks you that I don't know nothing about Liverpool, tell me the best starting 11 they can pick from their squad. What do you think is the best starting 11 at Jurgen Klopp's disposal? I think goalkeeper is someone, fullbacks is something pretty much sorted. So if you had to pick best starting 11, regardless of injuries, form, everything is irrelevant. What do you think is the best starting 11?
So I'll probably go with Matip Van Dijk.
Okay.
Then Fabinho, Henderson, Thiago.
Do you still pick Henderson in the best 11?
हाँ, I think so because if you see Henderson दो तीन चीजें ऑफर करता है। हेंडरसन प्रेस इनिशिएट करता है, जो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है।
ओके।
सेकंड थिंग, वो राइट हैंड साइड ऑफ द मिडफील्ड में होने की वजह से ही इज अ गुड कवर टू ट्रेंट। सो व्हेनेवर ट्रेंट इज गोइंग आउट लाइक आगे वो अटैक करने जा रहा है, तो देन वी नीड समवन लाइक हेंडरसन टू कवर अप फॉर हिम। So he does covering up well, and he's just energetic the whole game. Like,
Yeah.
when he starts a game well, he kind of keeps up the tempo. कभी कभी ऐसा होता है like Henderson थोड़ा flat footed start करता है, तो he feels like he's trying to catch up with the game, और वो बहुत अच्छा game नहीं होता है उसके लिए कभी भी. But
So
whenever he's confident and when he starts well, I think like nobody is better than Henderson.
and why did you pick Matip over Kunate or Gomez?
Gomez will be much of a starter in like League Cups and stuff.
Okay.
I think Matip has clearly shown that he's a really good defender. So until like Matip gets injured, I don't know if
Klopp has any reason to drop him, right?
Right, exactly. And Konate is also probably someone who's been told कि भाई तू अभी आया है, तेरा 22 साल का उम्र है, like you have to, you are your long-term prospect. So he will get some game time. Probably he will get games against some lesser oppositions. We can't say that because Premier League में कोई भी opposition lesser नहीं होता, but
यूनाइटेड के अलावा
yes. मैं तो यूनाइटेड स्क्वाड वुड बी लाइक कार्वालियो, कर्टिस जोन्स, एलियट, एंड फिर भी अपन जीत गए।
कैलर भी खिला सकते हैं उस दिन, तो शॉट्स तो आने नहीं वाले वैसे भी शॉट्स।
So I think Matip has not given Klopp a reason for why he should be sitting out. So it is not that I don't rate other two guys highly.
Yes,
I think
yes.
Matip Van Dijk has worked for us well anyway.
Well.
So let's say Matip gets injured or Matip has a horrible first two games and then he's low on confidence, then things will come up. But
if
just like no context to anything, I think
like
Matip is much more
like
suited than.
okay, like touch wood. Let's hope it doesn't happen, but let's say Van Dijk picks not a long-term injury, he picks a medium-term injury. He's out for a month. Do you think Kunate will be the preferred option, or do you think Joe Gomez might be the one who takes up that slot, assuming Matip is the other centre back?
I think it depends, क्योंकि I don't think Joe Gomez is very confident playing on the left hand side of the central defense.
Yes,
Joe Gomez is predominantly right-footed, so he is more comfortable in the right-hand side of the centre-backs. So if Matip can play the left-hand side of the centre-backs, which he hasn't played, like he is also more a right centre-back, so that will be very difficult for us. So I think Konate can play left-sided centre-back. I mean, he has played both the positions. So in that case, it could be Matip, Konate. But ऐसा भी हो सकता है कि like they might have these two only, so they might train as Matip, Van Dijk, and Gomez, Konate. So like even in the training, they could probably do that. And so instead of like switching one player, they could switch just the whole set of the center backs, and so like figure out
like hearing you speak about our team has made me realize that out of 11 places, like the center back next to Van Dijk and one of midfield three is like only position where you can see, like obviously there will be rotations, but if you ask someone to pick their best 11, I think Salah, Diaz, and Nunes will be their preferred front three. I think even you would have picked the same, if I'm not wrong.
Salah, Diaz, Nunes.
See again, and goalkeeper, fullbacks, मतलब Alisson, Robertson, Trent, Van Dijk. They are not going to change. Thiago Alcantara and Fabinho are not going to change. So only place where there could be some discussions is that one man next to Thiago and one defender next to Van Dijk. I think we expected Naby Keita to step up last season, which he showed he can do, but he's not at that consistent level to give us that kind of dimension in midfield.
I think it will also depend on how injury free Henderson is, because अगर Henderson को injury है तो हमारे पास और कोई option नहीं है. Like Keita is the only player we have in that position, right? So I think Keita either way has huge responsibility. Like even if he's on the bench, he has to be like match ready like that. And उसको कभी भी बुला लेंगे, हेंडरसन को कभी भी कुछ भी हो सकता है. So he can't be like, अच्छा मैं कभी खेला नहीं रहा, मैं थोड़ा chill मारूंगा. He doesn't have that luxury with him necessarily. So I think he has to be up on his toes and he has to grab any opportunity that comes his way. He had a good season last season, but again, not a regular season.
Keita impressed against United, जो हम 5-0 जीते थे ना Old Trafford पे. He was very good.
Pre-season में भी अच्छा ही खेला उसने, and hopefully like the impact is more profound, and we can see that for him.
Because ideally, if any Liverpool fan, when they see Keita, Fabinho, and Thiago in midfield, they are like, optimism reaches 100 when they see those three in midfield. And even like, if you ask me, that would be my dream midfield. But we know that Henderson is pivotal to how we play, and being a captain, you don't necessarily want him to be benched 9 times out of 10.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I wanted to talk about the youngsters which we have in this team. I think we mentioned them earlier. We mentioned Curtis Jones, Harvey Elliott, and Fabio Carvalho. Like, do you think there is a sense of expectations on them, or do you think Klopp will use them as like a parent who can like put all the pressure aside and let them focus on their game, or do you think they'll be thrown into games if we are not performing? Or do you think there'll be buffer will be there?
So Fabio Carvalho has been signed as a first team squad player. So I mean, so although he's young, but I think Klopp rates him high.
Maturity है उसमें.
हाँ, उसके पास एक्सपीरियंस है. उसने फुलहम को प्रमोशन दिलवाया है बेसिकली अपने on his
main
shoulders. Right. So I think he rates him well. He has good game time, and so I think none of these youngsters that we have named are any more babies. Like
makes sense. They don't need protection. Is like a parent.
So if they play bad, Klopp will like he'll take care of that. But if they play good, then he'll also be.
I think the only player that in our squad which can fit in that baby category is Calvin Ramsey, because we haven't seen much of him. And
I think Calvin Ramsey will not come until after World Cup.
Yeah, exactly.
It would be more like Robertson style, unless like Ta को कुछ illness आती है, injury आती है, तो he
but
might.
Ta को अगर illness आ भी गई, तो I am assuming Gomez is preferred.
Joe Gomez, yeah. I think he'll be protected that way because he has to get up to speed with Premier League, and Scottish League is a little different, right? So
yeah, exactly. And he's just 18, he has time. अगर ये पूरा season भी वो दिखा नहीं, then we should not blame like Where is
Oh
he? Why
yeah,
did we sign him? Yeah.
absolutely. अरे ये सब future के squad के players हैं.
Huh. I think
Hmm.
I think the only position which we haven't strengthened is midfield
Hmm.
because of like Thiago and Henderson are in their 30s. Milner is close to retiring, and
Hmm.
do you think it's a good option? Do you think you can understand Liverpool's reasoning of not pursuing a central midfielder this season because we already have spent enough? Do you think we can stay one
So
more season with these guys?
तो दो चीजें हैं और तीन चीजें हैं आई थिंक लिवरपूल के साथ whenever they are in the transfer market. First is they look at the players that they want.
Hmm.
Like उनका प्लान बी नहीं रहता है.
Liverpool move
Like
early if they know whom they want.
इन I mean, मतलब मेरा वो मतलब नहीं था. मेरा ये
Okay.
मतलब था कि जैसे ऐसा होता है ना कि हम लोग ट्रांसफर मार्केट में जा रहे हैं तो हम लोग लाइक अच्छा आई वांट सांचेज, अगर सांचेज नहीं मिला तो मुझे बालोटेली, ऐसा.
हाँ
लाइक
हाँ
वी डोंट गो विद दैट माइंडसेट. मुझे ये प्लेयर चाहिए तो चाहिए. अच्छा ये सीजन अवेलेबल नहीं है, वी वेट फॉर द नेक्स्ट सीजन, वील गेट देम द नेक्स्ट सीजन. So I think for midfielders, it could be a factor of either three. We haven't identified a midfielder who we want. We have identified a midfielder, but he's not available. और दो चीजें हुई और तीसरा मेरे दिमाग से छूट रहा है. But like on the
I think
similar.
I think it is more of a second option. I think we have identified Jude Bellingham.
Acha. But and then sorry, and then the price obviously, because
हाँ
if you are two years away from your contract and then 1 year goes by, then you're now 1 year away from your contract. That makes a significant
drastically
difference in
reduces the price ना.
price,
Hmm.
right? So basically, right opportunity के लिए wait कर रहे होंगे. And so I mean, in current scenario, I think we did not find any midfielder. I think the midfield targets we had might not be finishing their contract soon, and so they would be
हाँ
definitely fairly expensive. So that's why we did not move in. And then I think another reason could be that Klopp is happy with this midfield. Like he doesn't seem to be bothered about like strengthen to kabhi bhi kar sakte hai. Like
hmm.
strengthening is not something that is more
But
essential in that sense. Abhi, like, is this a bad midfield? I don't think so.
no
Can it
no
become better? Absolutely.
yes yeah
Uh,
I think
so
that's a
that is,
way
I
nice way
think,
to put it yeah
हाँ. So I think he rates all these players high. अगर ये players को rate नहीं करता तो he would not even let them play, or he would have
हाँ
them. अगर वो खेलेंगे नहीं, players would say I want to go, he would say yeah, just okay, that's fine, you go. I think you don't fit the plans of the team, or you don't fit the style of the team. That's how
hmm.
he is. He's no nonsense. तो ऐसा he is persisting with a player तो करना ही पड़ेगा for some time. But when he feels like they have been given enough chances and they still haven't proven themselves, so then Klopp knows how to deal with it. So if he hasn't taken out any players, or if he haven't heard any rumors of any of the current midfielders leaving, then I think he rates them, he trusts them. And I think
yeah
in terms of
I
strengthening and like getting someone younger to like जैसे
Jude
preparing the
Bellingham
squad for preparing a squad for coming 4 or 5 years, I think that will
I
happen
think
next
I
season.
think
We'll find some midfield.
the players which we are targeting, and I think I've noticed a kind of pattern. I'm sure a lot of Liverpool fans have. We are targeting young players, but young players who have experience of playing at a higher level. You see,
Oh
Darwin
yeah.
Núñez, just 22 years
Mm.
old. He's 23 now. Played in the Champions League. Fabio Carvalho, 19, but he has been one of Fulham's main players. We
Mm.
signed Luis Diaz, who also had Champions League experience. Diogo Jota had
Mm.
Premier League experience. So
Mm.
I think these are the kind of players which we are looking for. And I think Jude Bellingham, I've
Mm.
mentioned him like 2 or 3 times
Mm.
in this episode already. And I think he perfectly fits that criteria. He's just 19. He has England
Mm.
caps. He's probably going to the World Cup. And he plays in one of the best
Mm.
attacking teams in the world in Dortmund. So I think,
Mm.
and that's why we are playing for the long run.
Mm. Mm.
So I think, Roshan, I think we have covered our squad in much detail than previous episode. I just want to wrap this up with a quick season preview. Give me
Mm.
your predicted player of the season, young player of the season, surprise package, and what will be an ideal season for you, like winning a quadruple, things like that. First, we'll start with
So,
player of the season.
player of the season. Player of the season, I think this time will be Mo Salah because he will have more focus on him. So now the focus is not divided between Mane and Salah. So
And
I think
contract issue is also done.
and also he will feel more responsible. You know, he'll feel like Abhi, he's the main man for Liverpool, and so I think all of that will help him to like have a great season. I feel so. I think player of the season will definitely be Salah. Young player of the season, I think it will go to Darwin
Oh
because
yes.
he seems to be starting most of the games, and he
Huh.
seems to be he might be playing more than Harvey Elliott and Carvalho at this point. So I think
Makes sense. Yes.
that would be I mean, if Diogo Jota has a great season, he can be. He's still 24. He's young, so
Yeah. Diogo
we'll
Jota.
see. It would be a competition between Darwin and Jota. Luis Diaz will do great, but I don't think he'll be like a player of the season necessarily.
Please
So.
अपना finishing improve करिए Luis Diaz if you are watching. You are
नहीं हो
because
जाएगा हो जाएगा.
he gets into such good positions, but
Hmm.
sometimes he snatches the shot too early or a bit too late, which okay,
He
he's
has
going to
just
do that.
played half a season, so
Yeah,
things will
exactly.
work out.
Let's
Yeah.
give Uh, surprise player of the season. I think I'll go with Fabio Carvalho with that.
I think I'll go with him too. He'll be
Yeah.
definitely he so surprising in terms of like how much impact he will have just coming like one
Despite
season
his age, yeah.
age also. Right. So we'll
And
be
what do you think will be an acceptable season? Like, obviously, you will
uh
quadruple is something we want again. We want to go after it again. But do you think a
oh,
Premier League?
acceptable season like in totality or just Premier League like
No,
सब
no,
कुछ
no.
मिला के
सब कुछ मिला के.
सब कुछ मिला के even if we win I think 2 trophies this season also is fine for me like
Yeah,
a trophyless season like even if one trophy whatever FA Cup Carabao Cup I don't care but like if we
one
don't
trophy is
win a
minimum.
trophy one trophy should be the minimum. If we have a trophyless season that would be kind of a bad season for us because now we know what it means
How?
to win
Yeah,
trophies and we have the squad to win trophies and so there should not be any excuse of like not being able to win one. So and hopefully with all the injuries and all the shit happened to us last season we still managed to give City a great fight and
hmm.
I hope we can capitalize on City's problem of trying to adjust to new players and new playing style and so hopefully we can just like tear away from them early in the season and hopefully we can win. I think we should win the Premier League. It's been a while. It's been 2 years now, so
Yeah.
I think
I
it's
was actually
due.
going to say that I was actually going to contradict you and saying I'll prefer a Champions League win over a Liverpool
No,
or a
I
Premier
think
League
I'll
win.
prefer a Premier League now. Champions League we have won. If we go to the finals, like the thing with Champions League is like it is still much fate, right? It still depends on how you play on the day
Draws.
of the final, draws and everything. So a lot of luck factor is there. But Premier League, once you know the fixture, you know how you are playing, who you are playing. So
Yeah.
60-70% of the game psyche is in your hand. Obviously, the next 20-30% anything can
Yeah.
bad
Makes
happen.
sense.
But if I compare Champions League and Premier League, I would say I would be more prepared for Premier League than Champions League. So in that sense, with the squad that we have and with the Premier League being this long anyway, so I feel we should definitely win a Premier League. Champions League, other people other teams are also deserving, like they're the champions of their own leagues.
Yeah.
So so even
A
if
lot
we
of
got off
competition. Yes.
right, so even if we like lost in quarterfinal, semi-final, it's fine. I mean,
I think the minimum I expect from a Champions League campaign is at least a semi-final.
भाई मुझे अभी मैड्रिड नहीं चाहिए, मुझे कोई रिवेंज
और
नहीं
हाँ,
चाहिए,
दोनों मैड्रिड नहीं चाहिए मेरे को.
मुझे मैड्रिड से कोई लेना देना नहीं है. रिवेंज माँ फड़ाने गया, मेरे को नहीं चाहिए. I don't care.
I think that's a good way to wrap it up. I think this was much more of a Liverpool centric season preview, but let us know if you want us to talk more about the Premier League, or if you are into FPL, then
I
we are
think
also.
what we could do probably is like mix FPL in. So like with FPL, it is easier to know which players are we going to choose for FPL. That way, it helps us
Yeah,
understand the squads better. So I think we could do
exactly.
like a FPL plus like season preview of like the other teams and how they are set up
Yeah.
for this season.
So I think we'll wrap it up. We
Mhm.
might come next prior to the Fulham game, or
Mm.
regardless, and if it's a good result, we'll come after that as well. So we'll probably catch you then. YouTube cliches of liking, sharing, and subscribing, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.
Bye.